This is video 1 on how to write a critical analytical response essay. This type of essay is usually about 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph is the introductory paragraph, which is what we are going to cover in this video. The next 2 paragraphs are called body paragraphs, and the last paragraph is the conclusion. So we are going to focus on the introductory paragraph right now. So the first thing we always have to look at is, what is our topic question? What are we supposed to be writing our essay about? So the topic question we're going to discuss here is, discuss the ideas developed by the text creator in your chosen text about the effect of an individual's changing perception. And so whenever we look at a topic question like this, we always want to make sure we look for the really important words. And so I've put those in blue here. So the words changing and perception are the 2 keywords in this question. And so if I don't know what those mean, or if I'm not totally sure what this question is asking, what you'll want to do is start looking for synonyms for those words. So for changing, I found words like developing, growing, altering. And for perception, impression, awareness, sense. So just trying to fully understand the topic question. So that's always step 1 before we even start writing our introductory paragraph. Okay. Then introductory paragraph has 4 main parts. And so we're going to break each one of these down separately, and then we'll put it all together into a paragraph. The essay exemplar we're going to be using is a student exemplar. And so some of the things are done really well, and some of them things still need to be brushed up on, but they're a really good indicator of, what direction an essay should be going. So the first step is a motivator. So this is where you're going to open your essay's introduction with a general statement that will get your reader's attention. So you might just write about the topic. You might write about what you're focusing on, but you're really just setting up the subject for your essay. So this can be a question, a quote, or a contrasting idea. And this can be anywhere from 1 to 3 sentences. So the one from the student exemplar is, how people behave towards others is often based on their familiarity with each other. When individuals are friends, the relationship between them reflects that. But when individuals are not familiar with a person, their behavior toward them may be shaped by their perceptions, whether these perceptions are correct or incorrect. So this is doing the job. It's talking about the topic. I've created another example that could possibly be used here as a question. So how do people make judgments about others? It is often in the first impression, and it is often wrong. So I'm really setting it up to say, I'm going to be talking about how first impressions can often be wrong. Okay. The next part is the text reference, okay? So you're going to give the title, author, and genre of whatever piece it is that you're writing about, and a 1-sentence introduction that either gives a 1-sentence summary about the piece or what part of the piece you're going to be talking about. And so this has been done here in Harper Lee's novel, To Kill a Mockingbird. Incorrect perceptions lead to many misunderstandings. So this person is using the topic as well as saying, hey, this is kind of what the story is about. And we have the tag here, the title, the author, and the genre. In this case, the genre is novel. If it was a film, you would say film. If it was a short story, you would say short story. The next part of the intro is the blueprint. This is where you're going to quickly introduce what you're going to be discussing in the next 2 paragraphs. So you're just introducing only content at this point, okay? You don't need any specific examples. There should not be any quotes, any specific pieces of evidence. You're just introducing what the main ideas are going to be about. And this should take maybe 2 to 3 sentences. So this student wrote, the young protagonist, Jem, is at first unfamiliar with his neighbor, Boo Radley, and treats him with a lack of respect. This changes when Jem becomes more familiar with Boo. Similarly, Jem's behavior towards Mrs. Dubas is cruel and disrespectful until he learns more about her. So I can see that the first body paragraph is going to be talking about Jem and his relationship with Boo Radley, and the second paragraph is going to talk about Jem and his relationship with Mrs. Dubas. The last part of an introductory paragraph is the thesis. This is the most important part of the essay. If you don't have this clearly created or clearly stated, the rest of your essay is not going to have unity, because everything we talk about in our essay should always lead back and support our thesis. So your thesis is basically, what are you answering about the question? What are you going to prove about the topic question? So in this case, if we remind ourselves, the topic question was talking about changing perceptions, okay? So what is the central unifying idea that you are going to be writing about to answer the topic question? This should be only 1 sentence. It should be as clear and concise as possible. And so what we have here is, not knowing a person well can lead to incorrect perceptions. These perceptions change, however, once one becomes more familiar with that individual. So sometimes people might have stopped right at the end of this, but we always want to make sure we have an outcome. Okay, if that can lead to incorrect perceptions, what is the result of that? And so this person is saying, well, actually, if you give someone time, these perceptions can change. That is the result. So make sure you go back and have a look at those do's and don'ts for thesis statements in previous units. So altogether, this is what an introductory paragraph might look like. So you'll notice there is a title here. This is a title that this writer created that had to do with what they were writing about, as well as with the topic question. And so it's their own creative idea of what a title is. But altogether, how people behave towards each other is often based on their familiarity with each other. When individuals are friends, the relationship between them reflects that. But when individuals are not familiar with a person, their behavior toward them may be shaped by their perceptions, whether these perceptions are correct or incorrect. In Harper Lee's novel To Kill a Mockingbird, incorrect perceptions lead to many misunderstandings. The young protagonist, Jem, is at first unfamiliar with his neighbor, Boo Radley, and treats him with a lack of respect. This changes when Jem becomes more familiar with Boo. Similarly, Jem's behavior toward Mrs. Dubas is cruel and disrespectful until he learns more about her. Not knowing a person well can lead to incorrect perceptions. These perceptions change, however, once one becomes more familiar with that individual. So hopefully you have a better understanding of an introductory paragraph and all of the elements. Feel free to watch this video again or have a look at the notes at the bottom of this Moodle page.